What's good, people? It's been a hard weekend. Saturday, mass shooting in Buffalo, New York, and then today there was a mass shooting. Looks like in Southern California, Orange County. Uh, man, uh, yeah, we gotta have a talk. We gotta have a talk. I'm not looking at the camera right now because I am doing some things. All right, we gotta have a talk, y'all. So we'll start with what happened today. For those of you who may not know, there was just a press conference just a few minutes ago, reference a mass shooting in Southern California and Laguna Woods, which is in Orange County, not too far outside of LA. Um, that left one person deceased, uh, four people critically wounded, one person wounded, minor wounds. This occurred in a church in Laguna Woods, California. It looks like the suspect who was taken into custody was an Asian male in his 60s. The motive is currently unknown. The investigation is, of course, ongoing. Uh, so we won't know what's going on with that until we know. But we do know this, that there were people in the church who were able to subdue this man who was armed with multiple weapons. And they were able to stop him. And surely they prevented more people from being seriously injured. These people are being called heroes. And I can definitely agree with that, heroes. But, again, we're starting with California. These people were absolutely heroic. They charged an armed man who they knew was engaging targets. They were engaging humans. They were deleting they were deleting humans. And these people, whoever they were, decided to charge into the fire, right? To push right up to him, subdue him. And they had him in custody. Apparently they had him, I guess the term used in the press conference was hogtied with extension cords, and they surrendered him to law enforcement once they reached the scene. However, one person was deleted, four others were critically wounded, and one other was had suffered wounds that were not considered major wounds. What's good, brother Michael? I see you. See you in the chat, bro. What's good? What's good, Colonel Sanders? I see you in the chat as well. I wish I had better news, man. I wish we was just coming in here and rocking out, with some, the way we do. But I wasn't gonna talk about. I wasn't gonna talk about it. I wasn't gonna talk about this, but I will say this about the people in California: wouldn't it have been nice if they too had the option to be armed, which our Second Amendment gives us the right to do in America? California is really, really, really extremely difficult to legally carry a firearm. It's really difficult. It's real easy to illegally carry a firearm. Just ask anybody in that world. It's real easy to get your hands on a weapon, but it's extremely difficult to get your hands on a legal weapon, forcing law-abiding citizens to become victims, forcing law-abiding citizens to charge individuals who are armed to stop them from deleting other humans. Wouldn't it have been easier? I don't understand the political talk. I don't understand it. And you're gonna hear this talk moving forward. People are gonna talk about guns. Oh, we need more restrictions on guns. Where did these guys get their guns? No. How about we make it easier for the law-abiding citizens to get their hands on a weapon if they choose? I want to make one thing very clear. Simply because you are armed does not mean you will win. Simply because you're armed and well-trained does not mean you guaranteed a victory. But it would be nice to have that option if you find yourself in a situation where someone's going to come in and just start deleting people because they want to. I don't have a problem being brave, but I tell you what, I'll feel a lot better if I can grab my firearm and charge into the fight as opposed to just running in there with my hands. We gotta figure it out, man. And this, I'm not one of the people gonna be looking at this and they're gonna be hitting me up. Oh, you an NRA guy. Oh, you one of them. I'm just a man who want an opportunity to protect himself, to protect his family, to protect his friends, his loved ones. Right? I'm just an American who wants basic freedom to right, to the basic freedom to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's all I want. That's it. That's all I'm asking. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's it. There's at least one person in Laguna Woods who can't do that anymore. There are 4 more people in Laguna Woods right now who are fighting for their lives. They can't do it right now. They had other things on their mind. They're trying to live another minute. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, y'all. Point blank, period. And we're going to get to the real ugly shooting that happened yesterday. It happened yesterday. I see everybody in the chat. I'm definitely going to show everyone's chat. I'm not sure if I'll be able to read them. So yesterday, Saturday, Buffalo, New York. There was I'm sure everyone's pretty aware of this one. This guy right here. There are people like, oh, don't show their faces. Oh, don't say their names. Nah, show their faces. Say their names. Find their family. Find out who raised this dude. Find out where they went wrong. 18-year-old. 18-year-old boy dresses up as a soldier, wearing battle dress uniform. He was better equipped than the Russians who were fighting in Ukraine right now. And I'm not sure what type weapons he had. I'm making an assumption that he had assault-style weapons, long weapons. Drives 3 hours from where he lives. 3 hours he drove with this equipment, these weapons, this ammunition, to go to a black neighborhood, to a grocery store where he knew he could find black people, people who look like me, people who look like my daughter, people who look like my mom, my sister, my brothers, people who look like my friends. He goes into this grocery store, geared up, screaming hateful things, racial slurs, and he's deleting people as he goes in. This boy managed to delete 10 people. I believe it was 13 people who were wounded. I believe I didn't get all of the count correct, but I know he deleted 10, and there are more fighting for their lives right now. One of them was a retired law enforcement officer who was working security inside, who was armed. Like I said, because you are armed does not mean it doesn't guarantee success. He was trained. He was law enforcement. He was retired. He was trained. This security officer, this retired law enforcement officer, engaged this boy who was geared up. This boy who came to do damage. This boy who came ready for war. the security officer engaged him with his firearm. He scored multiple hits, but did no damage because this boy was geared up. He was ready for this. And then this boy engaged the security officer and deleted him. Easy to do if you have an assault weapon. Now, people are saying, oh, you sound like you want to. How you doing, Miss AK Lady? Thanks for coming in. I see y'all in there. I'm sorry I'm not reading y'all chats like I normally do. But you're saying so we should ban assault weapons. Nah, no, we should not. We should not ban assault weapons. We should not ban assault style weapons. We should not ban high capacity magazines. In my opinion, we should not ban any of that. It is impossible to get the weapons off the streets in the United States of America. There are more firearms in this country than there are people. I'm going to say that one more time. There are more firearms in this country than there are people. Obviously, this boy is crazy. There's something wrong with him, obviously. Now, people are going to want to ban, people are going to want to blame this hatred, this particular hatred that this boy engaged in. They want to blame the internet, right? Like I said before, lack of accountability. I've said it on every platform I can be on. I scream it from the hills all the time. It's a lack of accountability in this country. It's a lack. This young boy is responsible for what he did. And yeah, there's going to be some other people who share a little bit in that responsibility. But this is a free country. It's a free country. If we're going to sit here and talk about spending money so we can get weapons off the street, so we can get gear off the street, we get all this stuff off the street, but we're not going to spend any money to help this poor, stupid boy get right in the head. He's crazy. He's absolutely crazy. For anyone who's crazy, anyone who's going to conjure up a plan like this, take their time, go get all the gear that they need, go get the weapons that they need, go get the ammunition that they need, get a vehicle, get the gas that they need, drive 3 hours to delete a bunch of strangers, people who've done nothing to you, nothing, people you don't even know. Why drive so far? Why drive so far? You got to go 3 hours to find black folks? I don't understand. I don't understand. It looks like Brother Michael was saying it was 13 wounded. So, and again, I wasn't sure. I do apologize. I should have taken the time to update my notes. I watched the press conference on the California incident, and I should have updated my notes for Buffalo. But Brother Michael was saying that there were 13 wounded, and I'm not sure if they were counting. Was that the total, including those who were deleted, or was it the 10 deleted and an additional 13? And I see what you're saying. Greatest country, just asked Myron when he was on the border between Texas and Mexico. You know what I mean? Them my dudes, man. I respect Myron and his service for what he did as law enforcement. But you got to understand, brother, I've gone to war. I've seen the world through the sights of my weapons. And yeah, I'm here to tell you, America is the best country that I've been in. I've been to the Middle East. I've been to Africa. I've been to Europe. I've been to Asia. I've been to some places I can't even tell you. I've been to Central America. I've been to South America. Yeah, America is. We have our problems. We do. But I'm still here. Right? We don't have the same kind of problems that they have in Mexico. We don't have the same kind of problems that they got in Nicaragua, Honduras, Venezuela, Colombia. We don't have the same problems that they got in Somalia, Egypt, right? The Sudan. We don't have those problems. We don't have the kind of problems that they got in Ukraine right now. They got real problems in Ukraine right now. We don't have those problems. Right? We don't have the kind of problems that people are dealing with in North Korea. We don't have the kind of problems that people are dealing with in China. We don't have them problems. We have our own unique problems. Our own unique problems. Welcome everyone who joined me. Thank you so much for taking a little time. Like I said, I'm normally trying to keep it upbeat, but we got to understand. Buffalo, New York, white male, 18 years old. Engaged these people, deleted these people because they were black. That's who he was looking for. Looking for black people, African Americans. That's who he was looking for. For all the races in the country, the mixing pot. He's looking for those people. People who look like me. People who look like Miss AKA lady. People who look like Suzette Speaks. People who look like the lead attorney. People who look like Myron and Fresh. People who look like Big Mo and Chris. That's who we was looking at. Had we been shopping there that day, guess what? We'd have found ourselves in a firefight. How you doing, Miss Michonne Denise? Thank you. I'm honored that you're here. Appreciate it. Y'all gonna hear some stuff today, man. I'm telling you, I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I know what it is. Trying to take weapons off the street is not the answer. I'm sorry. It's just not the answer. Even if you could do it, which is absolutely impossible. Like I just said, there are more weapons in this country. There are more firearms in America than there are people. You can't get all the weapons. You can't. You can't come get all mine. I got a lot. But there are things that can be done. First of all, we need to allow law-abiding citizens to protect themselves. That's why we have the Second Amendment. That's why we have it. Simple as that. That's why we have it. And for those people who want to sit there and restrict it, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. And the people out there are like, well, Saint, you're too aggressive. Yeah, I'm a warrior. Before I was a warrior for the United States military, for the United States Army, before I did that, I was a warrior in the streets. I had to be. It's the way we grew up, and that is a very small, a very select percentage of our population. But I understand what it is on the street when somebody comes from you. They coming for you. They come for you. You need something to protect yourself. You need something to deter yourself. I ask you this. If that boy that's on the screen right there, if that boy knew that 50% of African Americans were armed, would he have done this? If he knew that 50% of Asians, 50% of Latinos, 50% were armed, would he do it? Would he even attempt to do it? Does he even have the capacity to plan something like that out? He's a coward. When law enforcement arrived, they had him, told him to drop his weapon. Apparently he took his weapon, he put it at his own neck. And then, as the report goes, the police were able to talk him into putting his weapon down. Well, come on, man. If you a warrior, if you're a Viking, there's your opportunity. Engage them. Go out like a Viking with your sword in your hand. If you're trying to get in the Valhalla, but he don't know nothing about that because he's just an impressionable, stupid white boy. Yeah, I said white boy. Like, people don't understand. The guy was looking for smoke. It could have been me and my daughter driving down the street, driving through that parking lot. Some stupid boy gonna come out geared up and engage us. Yeah, I'll get some rounds off, but it'd be like that security officer. I'm not walking around with armor-piercing rounds. I'm not walking around with my assault weapons in the car with me. I got sidearms. Right? I'm not walking around with my Typhoon semi-automatic shotgun, 12 gauge, semi-automatic. I'm not walking around with that. I'm not walking around with my AK. I'm not walking around with my AR. I'm walking around with Glocks. Sometimes I got my Smith & Wesson. Sometimes I'm walking around with a 38 Special. Sometimes I got a 357. Sometimes I got a 380. But I don't walk out the house expecting a firefight. But at least I got a chance. And even when I do carry my revolvers, I keep speed loaders. I carry extra rounds, but I'm not carrying a combat load. I'm not carrying 250 rounds. 17 max. 17 max. I never carry more than that. We got to do better, America. Politicians, absolutely worthless. Politicians are worthless. And whose fault is that? It's our fault as Americans for voting for them. Quit sending these worthless people to your state legislators. Quit sending them to D.C. They're useless. Absolutely useless. We talk about blue pill and red pill. I'm going to show you some real red pill stuff right here today, y'all. This is real red pill. We got evil people in this country. We got systemic racism in this country. There are unfair biases in this country. We know this. You want some real red pill? You want to be unplugged? I'm unplugging you. This is what it is. This is what it is. Point blank, period. I can't tell you how many times I have been stopped by law enforcement. I can't tell you how many times I've been stopped by the police. And we know it's like, I know I'm being racially profiled. The police know they're racially profiling me. They know it. They're looking for drugs. They're looking for guns. Right? But how often do people who look like me go into grocery stores geared up to delete innocent folks? How often? How often? Right? I'll give society one thing. There are a lot of guys who look like me out there selling illegal products. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of guys who look like me out there cranking. There's a lot of guys out there who look like me that could get you some chronic, get you some pills, get you some whatever. Right? I'll accept that. That's red pill. I'll accept that. I will accept that. We're not going to talk about where the dope comes from. We can talk about that later. But when it gets here, there's a lot of people who look like me to sell it. It's true. And the police be on us hard on everybody. I can't tell you how many times I get pulled over because I like to drive nice vehicles. I like to wear nice clothes when I'm out and about. Can't tell you how many times. It doesn't happen as much here in Tampa. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've only been pulled over one time and I was speeding. And guess what? The officer gave me a warning. He let me go. Big up to Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department. Right? But they didn't let me go in Cincinnati. Right? Cincinnati police did not let me go not one time. I ain't never getting no warnings and no, here's your warning. Slow down next time. Nah. I've been pulled over for everything you can think of. Right? From a slowing down too fast, speeding up too much, erratic, like swerving in my lane, failure to stop. I can't tell you how many times I've been pulled over in this country, racially profiled, because they're looking to get drugs off the street. They're looking to get guns off the street. Right? If a guy looks like me and he has guns, he's not looking to delete anyone that ain't got it coming. Let's put it that way. He ain't looking to just run out there and delete just any old body. He has it to protect himself. He has it because he's in a dangerous business. We get racially profiled. Isn't it time to start pulling over young white men or just white men in general between the ages of 18 and 40? Isn't it time? Can we go ahead? We're going to do it. Isn't it time that we go ahead and start racially profiling some of these people? The black MM, I'm with you on that, brother. I call everyone my brother. I've said it on multiple streams. I don't hate like that. You got to do something to me to get me to hate you. It has to be something serious. I don't hate like that. You just can't amp me up to go out and start deleting people. I don't even know he did nothing to me. But isn't it time, law enforcement, that we start racially profiling white men? This coward, this little boy drove 3 hours. 3 hours with red rum on his mind. Want to kill people that look like me. Want to kill people that look like my daughter. 3 hours. I bet he didn't get stopped. I bet the police didn't get behind him and run his tags. I'll be willing to bet $100 right now that his tags were probably expired. Guarantee it. I bet you he was driving fast, speeding up fast, slowing down erratically, moving around, shifting. I bet you he was doing all that. Failing to stop. I bet you he was doing all that. Law enforcement, man, what y'all trying to do, man? I know y'all don't serve and protect anymore, but, man, the spirit of that should still be around. What does it take? What does it take? The DC snipers are the only ones that I've ever heard of that did this sort of thing. DC, two brothers, two black men. Well, one black man and one boy. And all that was over a woman. All that killing was over a woman. The guy was mad I think it was his baby mama or his ex-wife, but he wanted to hit her. That was the whole reason he did all that. That was it. One person. He wasn't going out there just popping people because they were white or Italian or Armenian or Asian or, not just Korean or Cuban or Dominican. He wasn't doing that. German, Polish. He wasn't doing it. He did that so he can get away with deleting one person. And those are the people that look like us. Now, what about all the rest? Y'all know the names? Sandy Hook, Columbine. Y'all know the names? That guy in Vegas went to the concert, lit up all them people. Lit up all them people. Right? Went into his hotel room and had the bellhouse bring all his weapons and ammunition up to the room because he was a high roller. He up in a suite. And what did they do about that? We want to do away with bump stocks. Bump stocks? You want to do away with bump stocks? You can't be serious. If we're going to do something, let's do something. If we're going to do something, let's keep it 100. Let's keep it real. If we're going to make changes, we need to make changes. You want to racially profile me because you think I'm a drug dealer? Then racially profile people who look like this guy right here on the screen. Because they might be out there trying to delete a whole bunch of innocent folks. Which is worse? Which is worse? The drug dealer is the bad guy because he's providing a service to people who want it? Right? That guy, the drug dealer, is a bad guy because he's selling the product to the people who want it. That's worse than this boy, this coward, to go out there dressed up as a soldier and delete innocent people. I don't care what color they are. Just innocent people on a Saturday at the grocery store. Which is worse? I ain't got a problem with you racially profiling me. I know what to do when y'all pull me over. You're going to see my hands. I'm not telling you I'm armed. I don't have to in Florida. California and some other states, they require you to, but I'm not going to tell you that. Fernando Castillo told the police officer who pulled him over for driving with an expired tag, I believe it was. I may be wrong on that. He got pulled over by the police and was shot dead with his daughter right behind him because he said, I'm armed. I'm licensed to carry. I'm armed. And the man was foolish enough to reach for his wallet. Nah. Which is worse? What did Fernando Castillo do? Why are y'all so afraid of me? And I say, y'all, I'm talking about society. And I'm talking about society here in America. Yeah, I'm talking about white folks. I love y'all. Y'all know I do. I rock with y'all, but man, come on now. Come on now. Why are you so afraid of us? I've never met a black man who thought about doing this sort of thing. Let's go out and let's pick a race. Let's pick a group of people and let's go out there and let's delete them. I ain't never, ever met a man who looked like me say something like that. Ever. So all I'm saying, if we're gonna racially profile, we should be racially profiling guys that look like that. For real. And there's going to be all kind of talk about him, you know what I mean, with the sites, the stuff that he was reading, the stuff that he was saying. And there's going to be all kind of, first of all, they want to take away your right as an American to protect yourself, to carry a weapon. They want to take away that, right? Then they're going to want to take away your ability to say what you want. They're going to want to take away your free speech. They want to take away your ability to learn. Right? Just because I've read Mein Kampf doesn't make me a Nazi. You understand what I mean? Just because I've read the writings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad doesn't make me a member of the Nation of Islam. I don't subscribe to any one God. I don't. It doesn't make any sense. Just because I've read Lenin doesn't make me a communist or a socialist. Just because I understand what Israel is dealing with in that part of the world doesn't mean that I'm against the Palestinians. Just because I understand the Palestinians' plight doesn't mean I'm against Israel. All that stuff I was talking in those other the other episodes, thinking, the think tank. Y'all, we got to think this through, y'all. We got to think this through. But I ain't joking, man. Law enforcement, for real, y'all need to start pulling these white boys over. Y'all need to start doing it. If you're going to be in law enforcement, if it's truly us against them, if it's truly y'all on the other side of that thin blue line, then y'all need to police everyone the same. And what do I mean by that? Do I mean you need to go out and just harass people? No. But when you're going to go out and pull me over and harass me because some other dudes are out here cranking, you need to be pulling over these white boys because they might be going to delete somebody. That's what I mean. If y'all going to be, like y'all said, us against them, all right, I'm cool with that. I can even respect that if you're doing a good job. Y'all out here busy harassing some Latino or harassing some black dude or harassing some dude who lives in a bad neighborhood because you think he's a gangbanger. Meanwhile, you got these cowards running around, geared up, armed to the teeth, looking for law-abiding citizens to delete. Like Jit, what are you saying here, brother? Online costs and ideologies are to be blamed. Thing is, U.S. authorities need to crack down on cults that support hate. I got pushed back a little bit, brother. I'm not sure where you're from. Let me know where you're from. Doesn't sound like you're over here in the U.S. and I don't mean that as a slight. I don't. I'm genuinely curious as to where you are, brother Jit. But you gotta understand something. Freedom is a tool like any other. Freedom is like the weapons that coward used yesterday and like the weapon that Asian man used today. In the right hands, it's a very good thing. But in the wrong hands, it's a very bad thing. We can't say we're free, but then we're not going to allow you to look at the dark side of life. I want you to look at what you want to look at. I want you to say what you're going to say. Go ahead. I want to hear it. I want to see you post it. And if you act on it, yeah, the feds is watching. The feds is listening, just like they listening to me and my dudes. Back in the day, we was out there cranking. Yeah, they was listening. I heard the tapes. And that's what I mean, law enforcement. Treat everybody the same. It's us against them. Y'all the boys in blue, treat everybody the same. So yeah, Jet, now I don't agree with that, bro. I really believe in freedom. I put my life on the line for it. I fought for it. I wasn't playing. I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom of speech. I believe in freedom of expression. I do. When I see people burn the American flag, I hate it. I really do. I absolutely hate it, but it's their right. In Cincinnati, Ohio, I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. I don't know if they still do this, but I know that they did this up until the early to mid 2000s. Every Christmas for a week on Fountain Square, and Fountain Square is the main square, downtown Cincinnati, the Ku Klux Klan would erect a cross and place that cross on Fountain Square every single year. And if you tried to take that cross down, if you spit on that cross, right, you would get arrested by law enforcement. I hated that. I absolutely hated it. I hated it. Big sign, this cross erected by the KKK in my lifetime, y'all. Yeah, I'm old, but I ain't that old. That sign every year around Christmas. The Klan erects a cross, puts it right in the middle, right in the center of town. Right in the center of town. But you know what? That's their right. That's what I fought for. That's their right. I took that oath. Right? Protect, to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That was their right. Now, if they decided to break some laws, if they decided to engage in some activities, then all right, and we go get them. Right? If they decided that they wanted to trample on the Constitution, well, now they're the enemy. Doesn't matter. Foreign and domestic. What happened in January 6th? That was an attack. It was a domestic attack on our government. And we got to come to terms with that too. If we're going to be this, if we're going to be true to the Constitution, that's what we need to do. The right to bear arms is guaranteed by the Constitution. It shouldn't be infringed upon, but it's a political thing. They're going to talk about this coward right here, and they're going to talk about how guns hurt people. They're going to talk about all that. They're going to talk about how, like Brother Jit was saying here, it's about the hate that they can find and this and that. Yeah, there's something to do with that. There is, but something's got to be wrong with you who appear to engage in it. And I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say it out loud. When Donald Trump was in office and they had that thing in Charlottesville, I think it was. And those men were walking around with torches talking about Jews will not replace us. Right? We got them on tape. We know who they are. And if they act on it, we going to come see them. Period. Freedom of speech, they got the right to say it. I just got finished watching the movie Fury. I was watching that movie, and it was some previews to some other movies. It was one of those movies that's out there, and there was a guy. It was this movie with this white supremacist, this hate guy, committed an awful act against someone who was Jewish, and he said those words: "Jews will not replace us." What was this little boy thinking? What was this cop thinking when he went to that grocery store? Blacks will not replace us. Who's next? Latinos won't replace us, right? Think about that. The biggest growing and the fastest growing segment racially in this country is the Latino, Hispanic. Well, I'm not sure, correct me on my terminology. I don't know what it's called, right? So when you get a group of people, white supremacists, and I think it's horrible. Like skinheads are skinheads. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I respect the skinhead. I done dealt with them. They done dealt with me. You know what I'm saying? They know what it is when they see me. I know what it is when I see them. And that was back before. And here's the thing. I'm dealing with these people on the dark side. Whatever I had on me wasn't registered. Certainly wasn't registered to me. And the weapon he had on him wasn't registered to him. Yeah, I see where I'm getting at. Why are we gonna make it hard to protect ourselves in America? I had to deal with the skinhead. I knew what he was about. He knew what I was about. It is what it is. But even them, they're not going into grocery stores like this and doing this sort of thing. They're not doing that. Walking around with swastikas on their head, walking around with SS boats. Most of them, they don't even know what it means. Most Americans don't know what it means. If you're an American out there and you don't know what I'm talking about with reference to SS, you need to go learn. You need to go learn. You're going to learn about the German military. You want to learn about stuff like that. You want to learn about the SS. Start with the Waffen SS. Adolf Hitler, he had his own SS. Start with them and see what they was doing before the camps, before the gassing. But still, this is America. Freedom goes both ways. You have the right in this country to say what you want to say. And I frankly want to hear it. I want to hear it. I know who I'm dealing with. No one knew what they was dealing with this young boy. Getting geared up. They gonna blame everything from video games to probably anime to the fact that maybe he ain't have a girlfriend. Who knows what they gonna blame? They gonna blame everything. They gonna do everything but hold up the mirror to us as a society. Right? We got all this money to spend on all this stuff. We spend all this money on PPP loans. We spend all this money on bailing out different factions, bailing out different countries, bailing out Wall Street and people who are making all this money. But we can't spend a dime on mental health. Mental health, y'all, come on. Obviously, this little coward is crazy. Right? Who knows what happened in California today? It was an old guy. Who knows? But maybe he had a issue. We'll have to wait and see. Law enforcement is going to do their investigation. We're going to have to wait and see. Right? And we're about to go into a massive recession. You think things are bad now? Wait till next year. Just wait. People can't buy houses. Right? People are barely hanging on today. Today. People are barely holding on. Over the past 10, 15 years, people have been getting all their money from their homes. From their homes. They're making the same amount of money they've been making. But their houses have been jumping up 30, 40, 50, 60%. And they've been using their house as an ATM. Well, that's all about to stop. It's all about to stop. Interest rates are going up. Inflation is already here. They're saying our unemployment is low, but it's really high. If you really think about it. I bet you in your town right now, you see a whole bunch of strip malls and stuff like that, missing stores, going out of business sales, for lease signs all over the place. I know I'm seeing it here in Tampa. Does that sound like prosperity? Depending on where you live, I know you're seeing a lot of homeless people out there. A lot of homeless people out there. Does that sound like prosperity? And people getting that bread right now, I'm telling you, it's about to get worse. Whatever triggered this young coward, just imagine how bad it's going to be. This guy don't even seem like he ain't lived long enough to have any real problems. What are you going to do about the people who are about to have some real problems? They about to have some real problems. So I just wanted to jump on real quick, y'all, to vent a little bit. I mean, this hurts, man. It hurts to see this. It really does. The Second Amendment is not a bad thing, in my opinion. Now more than ever, you need to defend yourself in this country. And why is America, in my opinion, greater than all these other countries I've been to? Because we can defend ourselves. It's a guaranteed right. And if we let people take away those rights, I think it might have been Thomas Jefferson or maybe it was Franklin that said that people who are willing to give up freedoms and rights for comfort or something like that deserve neither. I hacked that up. I mean, I need, you know what? Let me find it. Because I don't want to leave with me hacking that up. Because in the chat, if you guys know what I'm talking about, maybe you can post it for me. But I'm telling you, man, like I just don't understand. I I just don't understand, man. It's not the gun's fault. It's the person holding the gun. It's not freedom's fault. It's the person who takes that freedom and uses it for bad things, it's that person's fault. You don't want to take away someone's right to educate themselves. You don't want to take away someone's right to learn. You just don't. And Brother Michael said, wow. Um, as a black man in America, and it's like my buddy Jay Swan says, we served this country after going through what we've gone through. And I'm not talking about historically as our culture, and I'm not like tying this all the way back to slavery. You can do that on your own, but I'm just talking about my personal experience in this country, the things I've dealt with, right? The doors that were slammed in my face, the people who cross the street because they fear me because I'm walking down the street, being pulled over by the police, being told no for jobs, and then you watch one of your friends get the same job and you know they're less qualified than you are, right? Substandard education, having to live in the hood, went through all that, still enlisted for the United States military, still served my country. A country I wasn't sure that loved me, but I served my country and I love my country. You dig? I did all that. And now I managed to get to the age that I am now. So happy to be here. When I was growing up, and you can go back and look at Newsweek and Time and those magazines like that. I grew up in the 80s, man. Every time I got a little older, I was in this range, this range of death. You dig? So when I was like 15, they were like, African-American young men are dying from the ages of 15 to 19, I think it was. And then I got to 19, about to be 20, then that range went up, right? It went from 15 to 24. Then I'm like, all right, I'm about to be 25, and it went up. I just got to thinking like, man, who's trying to delete me? What did I do? Still, all of that, I still served my country. I went to war. I didn't have to go to Desert Storm. I did not have to go. They pulled me aside. The Army, the officers said, listen, you are your mother's only son. You do not have to go. I looked at that man like he was crazy. This is what I trained for. This is why I enlisted. I'm airborne. You telling me I can't go engage the enemy? Have you bumped your head, sir? He stood up. He shook my hand. When I saluted him, he gave me a real salute back. And he looked at me and he said, get some. And off I went. 72 hours later, I was at King Fahd Military Complex, Saudi Arabia, on my way down range. I ain't have to go. But I am an American warrior. I am the best of the best. You ain't gonna fight without me. You think that I'm gonna sit here and let those who did not fight, those who did not toe the line, take away freedoms that I watch people sacrifice and bleed for? I watch people die for. You think I'm gonna let those guys, those men and women, those soft sheep, take away those freedoms? You know how many American men and women laid their lives down for freedom? I know y'all done heard this saying, freedom ain't free. It ain't. Bought and paid for. By those that came before you, by those who came up with you, and by those who will come behind you. Bought and paid for it. That's why America is great. That's why this country is always going to be better than all the other countries on planet Earth. That's why. So do not let elected officials in your town, in your state, talk about restricting your rights for safety. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. Do not let those people change the law so you can't defend yourself, so you can't defend your family, so you can't defend your loved ones. Don't let it do it. Don't let those people turn you into a criminal. Don't let them do it. If y'all thinking about, well, how do we stop them? You stop them with a vote. Period. You stop them with your camera. Ask a tough question, put the camera in their face. Where do you stand on this issue? Don't let them dance around it. Don't let them dance around it. Make them run away, because they will run away, because they are cowards. When you find those people, those elected officials who are willing to stand up and tell the truth, and you hold them to that truth, that's how you stop them. Make the people in your neighborhood, make your family, your friends, hell, your enemies, make them register to vote. Make them go out and vote. I don't care who you vote for, but vote for someone who's going to get the job done. You ain't asking them to land on Normandy Beach, right? You're not saying, hey, man, land on Utah Beach and get chopped up by the Germans. You ain't asking them to go to Fallujah, right? You ain't asking them to do that. You ain't asking them to refight the Battle of Gettysburg. That's been done already. All you doing is you are demanding from them that they uphold that oath of office that they take, and they do right by you, your state, your city, your district. Hold their feet to the fire. Because we got crazy people going out here deleting folks for no damn reason, right? No, you're not going to take away my right to defend myself against that. No. You're not going to do that. Well, we got law enforcement. That's cool. We got law enforcement. I got a Glock. That's cool. We got law enforcement. I got Smith & Wesson. I got a Typhoon. I got an Axis. I'll get my 6.5 Creedmoor. I'll tighten you up 100 yards away. Don't give up your freedoms for a false sense of security. Those people who are willing to do that deserve neither. I'm D.L. Saint, man. I'll talk to y'all later.